Yes.
concerning the law regarding Amalek and how we're supposed to, he says, to destroy the seed of Amalek. Does that mean that the Most High is going to destroy the seed, or is he going to raise up Israel to destroy the seed of Amalek in the last days?
Well, they part of Esau. Everybody got to serve 1,000 years before Obadiah the 18th chapter is fulfilled. Understand? Do you understand that? So that's what's going to happen there. Just what he does as far as from that point on, is in the Most High's hand. But we are going to have the opportunity to fulfill prophecy as it is written. Because you know what it says. Let's start at Colossians 3:17. Whatsoever thou do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Give thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So everything that we say and do is going to be in the name of the anointed Savior. We give thanks to the Most High in the name of the anointed Savior, because it said no man come unto the Father but by Him. So we give thanks to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Can anybody gainsay on the fact that the Most High is who He is, and we just have to live our life accordingly to please Him, so that we can get the victory in the end. You'll be able to have the power to operate in the spirit of the Most High in these last days. Because a lot of people, they, especially religious people, think that the Jewish people that claim to be Jewish, ISH meaning the suffix meaning pertaining to being like the true ethnic and biblical Jews, who we are, the Israelites. And they know they just converted in the 7th century AD. So the Khazarian Empire from the Caucasus Mountains. And they were set up as a people, predominantly as we would know them. Where were they at in the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1600s, the 1500s, 1400s? Where are they at concerning being the ethnic biblical Israelites as the Bible speaking of? How do they fit the prophecies? They don't fit the word of the Most High. That's like you can learn Christianity or whatever religion you want to learn, and you become that religion. That's why people say that their nationality is their religion. That's how deeply embedded their brain's been polluted to think such a way. So they have learned partially somewhat of what it is that everyone should be learning, and that's the law of the Most High. But then you don't need the Talmud, you don't need the Kabbalah and all the other things that they deal with that's contrary to the word of the Most High, because you only need what it is He gave us to believe in. From Genesis to Revelations, they stop predominantly of them at Malachi. You got this New Age Jewish people that call themselves Jews that believe in Jesus, but their Jesus is who? It's not our Mashiach, Yahushua. They say that, they understand Mashiach, Yahushua. You don't believe it, you try it. But they don't believe in Jesus Christ. They know that's a fabricated person, Caesar Borgia, that was set up to fool the masses of people with Christianity. And it has done a great job because our people believe that those people are the chosen people. And they're not. The so-called Jewish people. I say selfish meaning pertaining to being like, you know. So the question is, you know, the result of the end of their reign of reigning over the world, being the superpower of earth. You know, someone's trying to say that the Arabs had a majority of the money. Are they crazy? With all the money that it takes to build flying saucers, I might say. Talk about stealth bombers, just like Mashiach Abishai, the angels coming with chariots of the Most High. Well, Satan got his on the left side. It's going to be a galactical battle in the sky beyond anyone's imagination. That's why Mashiach Abishai said they're going to come together to fight him. Who you think going to do it? Who you think supports the wars? Who you think actually support each side of the war to make money? They do. They support each side. So when you look at Ezekiel, first let's establish who they are. You have to go to the book of, go back to the book of Genesis. Genesis, the 36th chapter. It says, now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom, the first verse. Verse 9. Well, I'll read verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So Esau was given a mountain. When they say mount, that means a mountain. Mountain Seir. Esau is Edom, which means red. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mountain Seir. In Mount Seir, that means Mountain Seir, that's a mountainous area. So, verse 10, these are the names of the Esau's sons. Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau. That's what we're going to look at. Eliphaz. You see. Verse 12. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son. And she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. So Eliphaz, Esau's son, had a son by Timnah, and they named him Amalek. So that's the birth of the Jewish forefather, which he would be of Esau, who is the forefather of the indigenous so-called Caucasian people. So now, when you go to Exodus, the 17th chapter, and the 16th verse, Exodus 17:16 said, for he said, because the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushai have sworn that the Most High will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So the Most High swore to himself that he going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. That's why it's not going to be no peace in the Middle East over there where they at. Because the Most High just said, he swore, this way back in Exodus, the book of Exodus, that he's going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So when you look at the enemies of the Most High, in Psalms 83, that's something, it went right to it. Psalms 83rd chapter, sometimes that happens in the spirit. Psalm 83, you'll see Amalek is part of, because you see that he's like a stepchild or what they would call in this world illegitimate child. That's what say concubine to Eliphaz. You know, Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son. So when you go to Psalm 83rd chapter, the first verse says, "Keep not thou silent, O Most High, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High, for lo, thine enemies." So these the enemies make a turmoil, an uproar, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. So they that hate the Most High, and Amalek said in John 10:30, "I and my Father are one." So they hate Amalek too, because they don't believe in him. They waiting for him to come for the very first time when he been here already. So it says, "For lo, thine enemies," keep this in mind, "make a turmoil, a uproar, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones." Because who's more hidden than the lost 12 tribes of Israel? "They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." So they have cut us off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. I have 72 different identities when I ask predominantly those of Negro descent, what's your race, what's your nationality? That's lost. And mind you, we all come from the waters of Judah. So, just like everything was made from the waters. So it says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." So, they not call themselves Israel, they call themselves Israeli, or Israeli. But last I heard, the E sound is not it. But the I sound is it. Israeli. It's not the E sound. The E sound is an E. But the I sound is it and I. But they end it with an I, so that's Israeli. And some of the counterparts that they might have to debate with of their own nation that don't like them, we'll call them that, Israeli. I've heard it. So they've taken our name of Israel out of remembrance, not theirs, because they're not true Israel anyway. But they're part of the enemies of the Most High. That's named right here. It says, "For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee." So they're confederate against the Most High. Who are they? The Tabernacles of Edom, the first one. Biblical name for the so-called white people. And the Ishmaelites, the Arabs of Moab. We talking about indigenous. We talking about all this mixing, all this stuff. The indigenous Chinese and Hagarenes, Africans, Gibal, and Ammon, Japanese, and Amalek. See here, Amalek. That's what we're here for. Amalek. You see? We just seen Amalek was from the seed of Esau's son, Eliphaz, who had a son by his concubine, Timnah. So it says the Philistine with the habits of Tyre. See, so here's Amalek here as what? Verse 2, "For lo, thine enemies make a turmoil." And most I say you'll have war with Amalek from generation to generation. See, so when you look at getting right to the point, Ezekiel 25:12. "Thus said the Most High Power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them." Verse 14, I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom, that's the whole nation. That's, cause see, like just like we the Israelites, we are a nation called the Israelites. They're the Edomites. Edom, like I say, Esau is Edom. Israel is Israelites. You see what I'm saying? We became a nation calling ourselves the Israelites, as they're the Edomites. From Esau, we come from Jacob. They come from Esau. Jacob became Israel, we became the Israelites. Esau became Edom, they became the Edomites. So I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. His people Israel, those 12 tribes that was in the Egyptian captivity, it wasn't them. And they shall do in Edom, according to mine anger, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vision, said the Most High Power. So he said according to his anger and according to his fury, and they shall know the vengeance, said the Most High Power. So if you look at who is it that's talking, the Most High. According to his fury, look at Hebrews 10 and 30. For we know him, Hebrews 10 and 30. For we know him that have said, vengeance belongeth unto me, I will recompense, said the Most High. And again, the Most High shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Most High. But vengeance belongs to him. So whatever happens is not, it's nothing that nobody can do about it, because he said he's going to do them in according to his fury and his anger. So when you look at Hebrews 12:29, it says, for our power is a consuming fire. So for our power is a consuming fire. Fire. So when you look at, like he said, his anger, his fury, the Most High is a consuming fire. Look at him in Daniel 7. And 9. Daniel 7 and I held till the thrones were cast down. That's all the kingdoms, all the powers from authority, prophecy could be taken out of power. And the Ancient of Days did sit, who was the Most High, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame. See? This is something that he's given us just for analysis of if he had a body. There was something that we can relate to. Because wool and a body can be sitting on a fiery, flaming throne. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Fire is coming before him, all around him. Thousands ministered unto him. And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open, you see. So, this is what we're talking about. When you talk about the Most High, we say he's consuming fire. Consuming fire, but he will consume you. That's why flesh and blood cannot go before the Most High. Well, we always need a mediator between us and him. The fan them flames back. Say, who is this going to approach to me? Approach before the Most High. So that's why it says, once all the nations are brought down, you say all the nations are going to be brought down. And as it says in Isaiah 14:1, I'll read Revelation 13:9-10 first. You know, this is like what everybody teaches all the time on the street. Everybody pretty much should know this by heart. Revelation 13:9-10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the faith, here's the patience and the faith of the saints. See? So they led us into captivity, so they're going into captivity. That's what it says. So when you look at Isaiah 14:1, now before you get there, there's a reason why. You look at what he said and go to Colossians 3:25. Galatians 6 and 7. Colossians 3:25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done. And there is no respect of persons. So he that doeth wrong gonna receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there's no respect of persons. Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. Don't be fooled. Don't let anybody lie to you. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You know, they was the ones that built the first slave ships. And they called it the Jesus ship. You see? So now Isaiah 14:1. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob. He never said he'll have mercy on any other nation but Jacob. And will yet choose Israel. You're going to choose Israel. We the Israelites. And set them in their own land. That's what the Most High going to do. He's going to set the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So the strangers going to be joined with us, these other nations. They're going to be joined with us, and they're going to cleave to the house of Jacob, to the family of the 12 tribes of Israel, because of all the havoc and sin that Mashiach Yahushua is going to destroy all the nations. That's why they're going to be cleaved to us. You see? It's all prophecy. It's written in prophecy. Look at Revelation 19:14-15. And the armies which were in heaven followed him. Follow Mashiach Yahushua, whose garment going to be dipped in blood. He's going to have blood all over his garment from killing. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. He should kill the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That's the law of the Most High. The Most High's rules and regulations. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power. See? So, this is what he's going to do. So, going back to Isaiah 14:2. And the people shall take them, once he started to rule over these nations, we're going to take them and bring them to their place, to our place. The house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. Remember, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. We just read that. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. See? So The ones that have had us in captivity, slavery, and bondage and oppressed us, we're going to rule over them. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. That's when we're going to rest. That's when we get to rest. This is not our time of rest now. That's when we get to rest. When he give us rest from the hard bondage wherein we was made to serve. Oh yeah. Because they're going to be working for 1,000 years. They're going to be taking care of business. Gates going to be open. Continually may bring the forces of the Gentiles to us. Hallelujah. That's what this is all about. I mean, we got to serve the Most High, come back to Him and give our lives to Him so that we'll be worthy to be part of the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. I mean, anybody have a problem with being in the righteous kingdom, they don't need to make it. Everybody should want to live in righteousness, you see. So, the time is getting near, people. Look at Revelation 14 and 14. Revelation 14 and 14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, which is a chariot of the Most High, and upon the cloud one sat like the Son of Man, Mashiach Yahushai, like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, complete rulership, ready for complete rulership, to rule over this earth forever. And in his hand a sharp sickle. A sickle is used to harvest the land. This is going to be the harvest of the world. And that sickle is going to be used as another analysis of the killing. Like he said, smite the nations. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat in the cloud, thrust in thy sickle. Yeah. Destroy the nations and the superpower of the earth, their kingdoms. Thrust in thy sickle, especially America, for the wickedness that she have done, and reap. For the time has come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. You see, cutting down and cutting off the superpower of the earth, the Edomite nations, Babylon the Great. You see, America, bring it down. And we know that they're run by the so-called Jewish people, men, to be exact. Look at Jeremiah 51 and 33. But thus said the Most High Power of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to dress her with that sickle. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. You see? The time of her harvest shall come. That's why I love the Most High, the way He have things put in there, like, put that in there real quick. You think it's back there talking about ancient Babylon, but ancient Babylon was done away with through the Persians and Medes. This Babylon talking about the superpower of earth that we in now. The ones that's running everything now. Not just America. America's under the guidance of them. Demons in high places. That's worshiping Satan. Verse 16. And he that sat, going back to Revelations 14 to 16, and he that sat on the cloud thrusting his sickle on the earth. You hear that? Thrust in the sickle on the earth. This sickle is for destruction. Because if you take a sickle and you cut anything, you got high grass, you hit that sickle, you cut it, it's cutting it down. That's why I use analysis of a sickle. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. See? The earth gonna be reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. Oh, it ain't just a Mashiach Yahushua, another angel gonna come with a sharp sickle. Oh yeah. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire. Had power over fire. And cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. You see? The grapes are fully ripe. See, Mashiach Yahushua is coming. That's why you look at Matthew 25:31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. So he's coming with all these holy angels. He's going to sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations. And he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Go with the sheep on the right hand, and the goats on the left. And all you that's influenced by this system and thinking that you're going to make it to the kingdom in righteousness, and you all have been Edomanized or been systemanized to this system that's set up to send you straight to hell, you're going to find out. That's why he why he couldn't put everybody together and just say, come on, get ready to come to the kingdom with me. Now he's going to separate it, just like he separated them from the beginning. He never put all nations together. That's not the ideal plan of the Most High. He separated all the nations. That's why every man have a woman that goes along with his nation. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. So I mean, that's an act. Who is that? What kingdom was prepared for the Most High from the foundation of the world? What kingdom is that? Let's find out. Because it has to be explained. It says this kingdom was prepared for us from the foundation of the world. Look at 2nd Ezra 7. and 10. And I said, It is so, Most High. Then said he unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion, the 12 tribes of Israel portion, because for their sake I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done, where we die. He told you, eat of the tree of knowledge and good and evil, you're going to die. So he made the whole world for our sake. Like I say, from the foundation of the world, he made the whole world for Israel's sake. Oh, yeah. So you're going to trust in that sickle. The one that came with fire said, trust in your sickle. It's time. Look at this. Look at this. Matthew 13 and 41. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels. Matthew 13 and 41. The Son of Man, who is a Mashiach of Shah, shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity. All things that offend, all those people that are offensive, and all the people that are sinners, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. There's going to be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who have ears to hear, let them hear. See? But those on the left hand, that he going to put on his left hand, Matthew 25, 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. In verse 46, and these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. That's what this is all about. Oh, yeah. So, when you look at go back to Revelation 14. And verse 19. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles. That's high in the air, y'all. That's a horse bridle that you put in his mouth. By the space of 1,600 furlongs. That's high. You would say even unto the horse bridle. And blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridle. See, when you look at the Lamentations 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. So the punishment of the daughter of Zion's iniquity is accomplished. Who the daughter of Zion? 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we are. So it says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. And Zion is the 12 tribes of Israel. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. He will discover your sins. The Edomites. Daughter of Edom. You see? He's going to discover their sins. But see, our iniquity is going to be accomplished. So I say, comfort. We're supposed to comfort each other with these words. Because we've been through it for breaking the Most High's laws. That's why he say he's going to discover the sins of Edom. That's why he say he's going to put the sheep on the right hand, the goats on the left. Let you know that those that will be in this last kingdom would be like the goat. Be like, that'll be their symbol. 5-point star, the goat head, the 2 horns, the floppy ears, and the goat teeth. That's their symbol. Always. The Romans, the Greeks, the Romans, you know, Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, the British, all of them. They go by that goat head. And in secret societies, they deal with something with the goat too. But see, people nowadays will say, well, it's not our fault. We didn't do it. We didn't have you in captivity. But we didn't do the things that was done unto us by our forefathers. That's being done to us now continually, because, I mean, you look at it from the time of slavery, 1492, all the way to 1964. After slavery, under the Jim Crow laws and segregation, to 1964. Until now, anytime we're getting killed and the verdict is not guilty, and they showing brothers running and getting shot in the back, oh, it's no problem. Just another one dead. Another one bites the dust, man. That's why there's a reason why all this is going to go down. And look, just for all you that say, oh, well, it's not fair because we didn't do it. Well, we didn't do this either. That's why Lamentations, you in Lamentations 5 and 7. That's what it says. Our fathers, that's our forefathers, have sinned. They broke the laws of the Most High and are not, meaning they're dead. Like you like to say, they're dead. We not the ones that did it, but our forefathers sinned against the Most High and are not, meaning they're dead. And we have borne or carried their iniquities. See? It says, servants have ruled over us. There was none that does deliver us out of their hands. See? Because they're supposed to be servants. Remember when Esau was born, it said the first shall be a servant to the next baby born. Esau was born first. But see, we broke the laws of the Most High. Therefore, he put since you there, go to Ezekiel 7:24. You ain't got to go that far in the spirit. It said, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen. You hear that? The worst of the heathen. And they shall possess their houses. See, they all in our land and everything. And I will also call the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. You hear that? Our holy places are defiled. They kosherizing pig, having gay parades, doing all kind of madness over there. That's why the land cry out to us. It's desolate because we're not there. And the true land of Israel is desolate. City of David and so forth. So that's what happened to us. So now when you look at Isaiah 14:21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. See? Most High is just. Just like we were prepared for slaughter, they say we bore the iniquity, we carried the iniquity, the wickedness, the sins of our forefathers, and servants start ruling over us, the bases of men. This is what the judgment is for them. It said, prepare slaughter for their children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. See? Go to Obadiah. Obadiah 1 and 1. Right after the book of Amos. The vision of Obadiah, thus said the Most High Power, concerning Edom. See? This book of Obadiah is talking about Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Most High, and the bastard is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Yeah, Shalmaneser said, hey, I would not accept you coming back to the land of Israel in 1948, being Caucasian. And when the Jews left here black, Jeremiah 14:2 says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof language, they are black unto the ground. The cry of Jerusalem has gone up. So there's no way they said, I'm going to accept you coming back to the land of Israel as a Caucasian people when the Jews left here as so-called black people. So look at the book of Obadiah, verse 10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob and Esau. Going all the way back to Genesis 25, 19 and 20. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. I didn't write it. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. See? Like you said, hey, he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done, and there is no respect of persons. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. See? It was happy to see us go down, rejoicing over it. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Let you know that they are not the Most High's people. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. I mean, look, they got rich. You got, however you want to look at it. Romans 11:11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? Most I forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation has come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. So when we fell in 70 AD, they went and took up all our stuff. They got rich. That's what it says. Now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, see, when we fell, they was able to get all our riches. Come on, they still looking for Solomon's mine, King Solomon's mines, and so forth. Now when we fell, these other nations got rich. And in the midst of them, the riches of the Gentiles, how much more they fullness. That's why he said, that's what we said, the fullness is come about. That's why the harvest is ready. Their wickedness have prevailed to the heights that the Most High said his eyes are upon the sinful kingdom. I will destroy from off the face of the earth. Now the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the riches of the world, and the diminish of them, the riches of the Gentiles. How much more their fullness? See? How much more are they going to get? So you look at all the money that could be accumulated and was accumulated behind free labor from 1492 all the way to almost the 1900s. Are you serious? Going back to Obadiah. Verse 14, neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. See, they were saying, oh, they are a bunch of snitches, standing in the way of us be trying to escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. Delivered us up to the enemy. For the day of the Most High is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Payback is our mother. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, thinking, trying to pretend like you holier than thou, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. You hear that? These nations are going to be as they had not been. Ain't nobody going to be recognizing the nation, because, you know, Esau done named everybody. But these nations are going to be as they had not been. Now, verse 17 and 18. But upon Mount Zion, Zion representing the 12 tribes of Israel, shall be deliverance. That's salvation to Israel. And there shall be holiness. In the house of Jacob, which is the family of the Israelites, shall possess their possessions. See, we're going to possess their possessions. Why? It's real simple. It don't take a rocket science to figure this out. This is basics for Israelites. I mean, if you're in the spirit, you should basically, all this should be already answered in your mind if you in the spirit to understand the same thing over and over again. Isaiah 60 and 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my